Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. On issues around politics, Policy 98.3 FM.
We have to ask the people what is happening. If your life has not give some other people a chance. Well, throughout the polling before the 2020 polling, and I have mentioned some time ago that in many parts of the country, particularly, has 78% disapproval rate.
From the ruling party, and so that we're talking about. I would have my guest Situation Room on mainland 98.3 FM. This is your premier destination for insight. Ushered us in position. Will this coalition and so we want to understand with the political, the ruling or progressive, and ultimately, does it have the strength to do what it
put on horse it always to few issues.
Out to our icon. Thank you so much for bringing that up. The coalition would work, and with that coalition, I say as registered years, they have submitted or started the process for registering a new political party, and they say a new political party might be themselves some dissatisfied member of the infiltration of already existing parties by the APC. They were going to use the STP as their pen. They considered the Labour Party, and then, the crisis in the Labour Party, it stopped being a viable option to register the party. Mazi, do you think that is the best brand new party that they...
What I say, I think, no, that's the meaning. And that means the first daughter in the family. Such name has been submitted to INEC. People fronting it, assuming that it has been registered in principle. But anyway, amalgamation of people that are not credible anyway, people, self-centered people, people that are after themselves, better for them to use an existing, and to use an existing party. Also, that people, I think somebody that article that studio some time ago say, what is to get a brand new, virgin party, but have themed themselves their history. What do they do? So, special recognition in terms of relevance. Just like the one they've done is better than using this. But we've not heard whether they've actually resigned from their Sᴏᴜ has resigned, whether Erfa has resigned, and the rest of those people mentioned, or those people dancing, clapping their hands. You can,
like Nasir El-Rufai. In that interview, he was, and again, the structure of the center is what determines performance. And it breaks my heart that we might not be able to play some of this soundbite whilst you're on air because we're using, but I could quote that just to lead up to my question. He says that he doesn't know if the center is what determines functionality of other parastatals, and this across different MDAs, across different sectors, is a reflection of the center. These are able to work, the sectors are able to function, or the outcome of what we get in terms of power, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our trade policies and all, is all contingent. They all mirror the effectiveness of the executive. Do you believe so?
A superior, intelligent, experienced managing director, and his subordinates, well, they speak the same voice with you. Hence, with APC, we are on to rescue power from then PD to move the country forward, and that is why we see things going the way it is going. Executive Center, I'm talking about credible people, intelligent people. Of course, our president is intelligent too, but take it from him. Very intelligent, very smart to direct his, be able to give direction, be able to give directive. You have a center that is good, but with team. But if you want to go fast, go alone. So the center last week, and there was none. So the center is important. Air-fire actions, don't trust them. Really, we step down. I don't know. I think it was there, but if he can, will he be given that chance? So it is important. The coalition, those people gathered. He has contested for almost 6 times. What is he looking for again? That's fell out of love with the APC because, one, he was not given ministerial appointment. He accused the president of recommending him and also a crisis in the choice of who leads the party. So it is better they go back to that, to have leaders with integrity. If we have leaders we can trust, we would have gone far. But unfortunately, the leaders we have is important. Tomorrow they change it. Lies. And of course, nepotism is there. So if you get a leader that registered, not having leadership problem, who will be the president candidate, who will be the chairman, who will be this, all of them want to stay or want to be.
If you're just joining the program, this is the Situation Room on Mainland 98. We're talking about the diminishing strength of the opposition with a pertinent question we'll interviewed. Not to worry, before the end of the program, I would play you this evening. Mazi, I'm glad that you brought up the thought process for one who has had president's coalition because you just want to fulfill your life out to hold any position. Mind you, this is a man that with me, that you would help me. People think it's because he's bitter. That's why he wants to form this coalition. We have a Peter, that's the notion that accompanies Peter Obi's decision to join. What ideologies do you think they're standing on for the formation?
A partnership of the mission of political parties, about three or four of them, march together. Their primary objective, or it is to rescue power. Now they have come out to say, we want to rescue Nigeria. Actually, come again to tell us that Nigeria needs to be rescued from the hands of these people. But how sincere? The El-Rufai, I've said it here, he was governor for 8 years and he thought the president is a president. Now people that will come. Look, you know, I've spent close to, I'm in my 70s. Such ideas. Of course, if you ask me to go, I will say no. What will I produce at this age? 70 people reduce their age. Lies. But the issue is that these are people who want to remain. Have you heard anything about me? What has at the detriment of the masses. So that is the objective, not already. There's anger. There's insecurity everywhere. 70s, 80s, 90s, up to now. The truth, the sound of bitter cola. If you are true to bitter cola, it sounds like President Tinubu. He said he was be restored. He said poverty, we don't have, even this fuel subsidy removed. And of course, we all agree that fuel subsidy will be removed. Was it discussed? We don't need people of arrogant behavior. We need people that will feel what you feel. We need people they want to remain relevant. They want to make sure that they reach our Commonwealth. That's the objective. But the younger ones to come. So that's it. Atiku will not step down. He may decide to run something. He cannot tell me that El-Rufai will be there and will not be given any responsibility. No. Then you talk the coalition is P2B. I don't know how far that's true. I don't want to get into that, but I think we need younger people. Court of competent jurisdiction fine, I think 90 million naira, whatever. Then article, they have to look inward, look real at Nigeria. Let it be a Nigerian party. Let it be, they are not the Messiah. These people are not the Messiah we're talking about. Because let them not bring up the reason that they want to rescue Nigeria. They are saying corruption. They are I don't know what I want to describe about it. Insecurity everywhere. Now, let us see where they will reduce us from number one poverty in the world to at least and go to farm. People from Borno can go back to their houses. I think I've said it. I know those areas in Borno that they've been taken over by bandits. Let us see somebody who will come and say
in all of this, because in 2022, according to Nasir El-Rufai, he said that the support, especially from the northern governors, was out of consideration for how was supposed to return to the south. Hence, their support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm talking about the northern governors now, both the northwest, east, so that power automatically goes back to the north. Again, based on the internal rotations that are used, mind you, rotational presidency, or should I say, interest of federal character. So So how do you think that this unwritten, and they go to the polls in 2027, chances are they would be for the North to come back? So don't you think that this arrangement affects whatever plans they might have and force them to have to pick certain people, for example, a Southerner, so that this was a clash where the coalition after forming would now be conflicted, thinking of who to allow be the running mate, allow be the flag bearer for the person who can do the job, rather than what region of the country the person is from?
Yeah, to me, I think they knew why the APC cleverly, and they know that all this Wike, the Minister of Federal, so that they'll be able to complete their 8 years. If they want to do it to justify the APC or South or South, I don't know how the election will go. You speak from the South, it's not sellable. If a credible candidate is not produced from the South, selfishness to be killed. Like I asked question before, I think the will of the people. We then have to say exactly what Jonathan said. We then have to. We need people like Dr. Nandazikwe. We need leadership. It's sacrifice. It's service. You serve people and send me. I will serve with honesty. That is where they have problem. That allowed people within the coalition to make suggestions and pick a credible person from the South. Otherwise, there must be, we are going to go back to the sender again. So, credibility of a parent, what the politicians say in the morning is not what they say in the afternoon. They knew why they killed that proposed rotation president. But that was what Abacha, in the constitution he was drafting, it commented, it is no longer important where the president comes from. Selfish. We want somebody who is not tribalistic. We want somebody who will not play nepotism. Federal character is important, but constitutionally, every state is supposed to be given a minister. But also, that's why people are complaining. That's why people are talking about marginalization. They've been marginalized to say, we want to move this country forward. Not my will, but their will.
Time for every question asked have on Facebook. We're talking about the coalition. The leaders of the coalition are in the spot phone lines so that you can make informed opinions when you eventually call the studio to give your reaction to this particular power of the incumbent. We have to consider the fact that there's an INEC factor. And party had was well over 12 million, which means that if they were together in that very moment, to now rely on the outcome of 2023 for their plans for 2027, do you think that they still have that much political relevance and traction to take on the APC? Do you think that what happened in 2020 got in 2023, or that was an opportunity that has been missed forever?
Yes, it's an opportunity lost some political personalities. It's a mirage for them to gather close to 13 million. That's labor into so many other people who say labor will not get up to 2,000. But they got 6.something billion. Though they claim that they had more than that. Even PDP claimed that they had more than that. You see, like I start jumping from one party to the other, from party A to party B. Party B, C, D to dethrone a king. With some governors, the campaign to APC. The governors are now APC. And they are still going more to make sure that more governors, more lawmakers they come to in 2023 will be a child's play. As for them to gather such number of votes. Because, like I said, our president is a very smart person. Very intelligent. So it will be difficult, if not impossible, for this court. How many in the Senate? Senate has a majority, APC has a majority. In the House of Representatives, they have majority in their pocket. The military is in their pocket. Of course, you talk about judiciary. how would they go about it? Across the regions, across the states, not bringing somebody that's not sellable. Otherwise, there are various political parties. Labour has said it, Atiku has said it. You think they fold their hands? You think the president, he knows how to strategize. Central bank, they have everything. Who go tell them not to get what they want? Have your money and get what you want. So that's the fear. But this is going to be the ruling party and the politicians against Nigerian masses. If we may vote and go back, and they will still do what they've been doing. Take, for example, what happened in those states. We read about it. We monitored it. When the political party was winning, by 1 o'clock they used the police, drove them away, and the numbers, mutilation of figures and things like that. And the INEC, and the judiciary is difficult to. The constitution made it clear.
Your account is too low.
All right, we're going to have to go on a break. Our apologies if this happens way too frequently. We apologize for that. We would be back. This is still the Situation Room. We're talking whether or not the coalition will work. What do they need to do if they are to be a formidable opponent, I beg your pardon, come 2027? We'll be back.
Yeah, I know what this is.
98.3 Mainland FM.
Between October 2024 and January 2025, more than 265 lives have been lost to fuel tanker explosions in Nigeria. Guess what? Twice of that number have perished in the last 2 years. In more than half a decade, tragedy had feasted on many human bodies in many Nigerian states in their countless attempts to scoop fuel from overturned tankers. Ask yourself, is it worth the risk? The answer is a resounding no. Scooping fuel from an overturned petrol tanker is not just risky, it is downright suicidal. Petrol, diesel, kerosene, and gas are highly flammable. One spark and disaster strikes. Ignorance or hardship cannot justify putting your own life on the line to stay alive. Whenever you see an overturned tanker or people attempting to scoop fuel, flee immediately or alert the relevant authorities to secure the area and prevent a potential explosion. It is better to stay alive, be alive, and live well.
This message is from Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Oǩpeyemi Akinode as it takes to task and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you, roommates, as we discuss.
Welcome back. I once again apologize for that interruption. We're back and we're ready to continue the conversation. Mazi Chinedu is still with us virtually. I'm also here in the studio. The strength of the opposition is what is on the front burner, and the angle that we're exploring this conversation expedites the registration process for the new political party, the ADA, which would be the platform on which the coalition would operate come 2027. The key APC, other members of the PDP, members of the Labour Party, it's a lot of people that really are in this coalition, as opposed to a merger, and I say an individual structure, but simply collaborating towards one common goal, and that is what they are doing. But the opposition leaders claim that the ruling All Progressives Congress has found a way to infiltrate these parties, and so it has become necessary that they form a new party that is free of influence. We've had conversations to do so for the sake of the Nigerian people. We're asking questions about even the strength of this coalition. Will they still have the kind of strength they had in 2023? Mazi Chinedu was answering that question from the year 2023. Now that they are, as you said, attempting to remove a king.
Yeah, you use my word, the king. I think if they work hard and drop selfishness, it will go a long way. Otherwise, if they are after themselves, will enter it because of individual interest. Ordinarily, you cannot take it away from him. He has strength, but then and I think he still has a battle with the current governor. Then Atiku, I don't know because people are telling him why not step unless they're able to remove self. That's money to make sure it doesn't work. And of course, the INEC might be forced not to register them, but then there's nothing they can do. They're supposed to be a good development. It's supposed to be a rescue mission. It's supposed to be a deliverer that people have come to deliver this country. But my worry is, they promise one thing, they don't do it. When they rescue this power, is it going to be as the APC did? They rescue Nigeria, insecurity is there, poverty is there. Look at what they promised us. That is what the people are saying. People on the street are saying, what are you going to do? Would that be undertaking that if they don't do, we should stone them? I don't know whether that will go a long way to have. To me, it's a good development if they will be able to put their hearts together, remove selfish interest, remove self-centeredness, remove masses, should be able to know how to go about it. So be it. I think those who collected 5 naira, so be it. It is a time for us to say, no, I will not eat the king. He is strong on his feet, and nobody. He will master all energy from left, right, center to make sure he remains on seat until his 80 years. So my take there is that if they can see, if we are able to unite, if we are able to trust these people, trust is key here, credibility is key here. If we see that the leaders are credible, they are people of integrity, people with honesty, want to take over power. Take over power to do what? So my final take there is that it is workable.
Let's talk about voter sentiment here, because there's been a lot of shift of public sentiment in response to, first of all, the defections, for example, and the formation of an opposition coalition. We have an Nasir El-Rufai that says that the president has a disapproval rating, that even in some parts of the Southwest that is supposed to be, his primary center of support, that a lot of people are displeased with him and they're not very happy. That even Lagos State, there's a disapproval rating of at least above 50%, meaning people are not happy with the current. If he decides to be a running mate, as they form this coalition, if he chooses to be a running mate, they will not support him. That is, either he's fielded as the presidential candidate when they form this coalition, or fielded for that particular coalition. So what sort of influence do you think voter reaction, voter expectation would have on the success of this coalition? What influence do we have on what they do with that coalition?
Like I said, if they bring someone that is credible, the masses will go along with them.
The person who is fielded, so you don't think that it would have too much of that people would vote for whoever they field, regardless of their own personal beliefs?
That happens in the States. I remember I monitored, and after observing, I went around and I went to the studio to analyze. During the presidential election, people came out in mass to vote for P2B, not Labour. They came out to vote, even in Lagos. There was this allegation anyway, that we sampled that the people that voted for P2B are the market women. Some of them are the taxi drivers, danfo drivers, Okada riders, including the indigenous here. Some of them are sacrificed. Some of them are double-standard-minded people. As a vice president, nobody, Nigerians will not vote for him, honestly. But then you talk about influence. We don't want somebody that will influence us negatively. We want somebody that will come out and talk, we believe him. Verify what you have done. Is it these people? Look, let me tell you. That's why we are worried that even the opposition parties, those that we elected under the opposition political parties, when they close their mouth, you hear the voice of opposition parties now in the Senate and the House. So we will now look at it, the credibility of people and vote. The center is important. But when you talk about governorship, I remember also when somebody told me, you people, I also had people say, what happened in 2023 will not happen again. So these are the views people are hunger, kidnapping, banditry, and insurgency. We should look inward and vote personalities, not party. Personalities, not party. Then the masses again, they know how to weapon. They now use poverty to weaponize us. During the time of election, that's the time they will remember somebody has to pay school fees for his children. They will now tell you how a bag of rice, they will share it on flyers in the name of a political person. So the transport union, they will force people to. So we have problem in this country. And if they decide to go along the way, be like Esau, because they are hungry, a porridge of yam, they show their birthright. So be it will cut one. It's going to be massive. It's good. That is why the Green Party doesn't want protest. They don't want it. They will muster every power to subdue the opposition, to suppress them and subdue them. But it's not going to be masses against it.
Fails to gain traction. What are some of the probable?
That should be the end of some of them. That should be the end of the. I read somewhere Pᴜબ્ᴜ said 2027 will be his last article. How old will we be in 2031? Energy. That they must get it right. Otherwise, if they allow them selfishly to talk about them, some of them will get excited. They will die politically dead. And some of them will remain. Because some of us, you see, the problem of the electorate is that for the masses to stand up and say, I continue to repeat, I will not eat the king's meat. Should be reviewed. And we are talking about electronic transmission. Let it be put in place. Let it be put in place that I told you I monitored. There was a particular polling booth at of the presidency and the president. They transmitted the two. But when it came neutral, I discussed about where if they failed to get it right. Nigerian budget was £3 million. In 1977, you say, what about the population now? But then you see the talk about how many trillions now. We are now running trillions. What are we doing about it? These people, are they having the interest of the masses? If they have the interest of the masses, what do not see what the Gulf oil develop their country, our own. What happened to it?
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, Mazi Chinedu Mobioha. I would like to hear that with your analysis. Give us what they think about whether or not the coalition will work and what the future of the election future.
Thank you very much, Sage.
Yes, have a great day.
Great.
All right then. I think 8.3 FM is how you find us on Facebook and on YouTube. You can also talk to me via text or also call me 091360. You can call via WhatsApp 0913600430.
Say great man. Say great man.
Have a great minute. Okay, let me play this and I will get to you immediately we finish playing this. Just bear with me. The situation we found ourselves is why I wasn't able to do this in the first instance. Hold on. Be patient. Let's listen to this and then I would open the phone line.
This is just 2 years, okay? If you're happy with what is happening, why not give some other people a chance? Well, throughout the polling before the 2023 election, we knew that the election was going to be tight, very tight. But we were ahead. We knew we were going to be tight. We have done some polling, and I have mentioned some time ago that in many parts of the country, particularly in the southeast and the north, President Tinubu has, in some states...
And that's a scientific poll.
It's a scientific poll. Right. But there is nowhere he's doing better than 50%, even in the southwest. The security architecture has failed. There's a loss of revenues, but we don't know where the revenues are going. But major infrastructure, electricity, you know, our rail system, the states are getting more money in Naira terms, but my question is, where are the results? President Tinubu went to Kaduna last week to commission projects. 90% of all the projects he commissioned were the project that I did and took to 90% plus. Okay, though they have had much more money. So the question is, and I gave the example of Kaduna only because I'm from the state, but frankly, most of them are not doing much with those resources. And the federal oversight is very weak because the president wants all the governors to be in APC.
All right, you can call me now, 091360000410 is the number to dial. Let's have a conversation about the future of coalition in Nigeria. Hello, evening to you. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Madam Sage. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Most of the analysis were on point, but there's just a little disagreement about the rating that El-Rufai, his statement is sounding like a drowning man, a man drowning. El-Rufai cannot win a councillor seat in Kaduna now. Why can't you get the coalition program? Anybody like Atiku, go and read about the book. He has written about Atiku, and I will not say anything more than that. And those are the kind of people that the coalition people are putting together. I'm saying and I'm repeating, if they want this coalition to succeed, who want a Galu or Kingsley Galu? Those people, versatile people who can be trusted. These people have no credibility. Somebody who went to import terrorists from other African countries, 2014, to fight Jonathan out of office. Now the insecurity has spread across the length of.
Stay on point here. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Evening to you, my brother.
This is Babalola on the line.
Welcome.
But I want Peter Obi to go with this Mustafa, the former worker of Sani Abacha. If those two compare, these are credit people for me. My opinion.
You are speaking with Emmanuel Moise.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Our leaders know the problem of this country. Their hands are potential candidates in 2027. So I want to change the country. Under 90 days, you will see this country fixed. But the problem is that we don't understand the problem in this country.
Right,
if you don't have vision, sorry, madam.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a beautiful day. Let me just pause a bit, read Facebook messages. I did the major characters behind the coalition. Was it not the same thing people said when APC was about to register as a party in 2014? I think on leave. There's nothing wrong with Okpemi. I'm just sitting in for him because he is on leave. He will be back by next week. There is no issue. I've seen messages on WhatsApp. He's fine. He's just on leave. He's resting. He'll be back next week. But until then, you'll be hearing a lot of my voice on the situation. For Ada, they would rather cut themselves because of greed. For example, Little Crumb destroyed the Labour Party, and even Mr. Integrity failed to unite common political party, and they're here blaming others. All right. Benjamin Ise on Facebook says, good evening, Sage. To me, even with the same political system that we have, what happened in 2023 will repeat itself in 2027. Before we talk about forming a new party or forming a new coalition, we must first of all work on our electoral system. Rather, it will continue to be lamentation upon lamentation. Your guests have said it all. Atiku is a no-no for 2027 presidential candidate. El-Rufai is also a no-no. Benjamin from Shogunle. Okay, so who then would coalition through if they join? You can tell me that when you send your contributions as well. Prince Leo Ozoma on Facebook says, Sage, good evening. I'm happy that the politicians involved in the coalition are experienced politicians and they quite understand the trust threshold. They cannot get it right. They know and understand Tinubu, and he knows them well too. Anybody saying if they will be able to present a formidable and credible leader and the only alternative is to replace them immediately. Abayomi will ever insult any guest here again. If you disagree with what the guest has said, you can just give me your dissenting opinion. I'm choosing not to read the final brings to the radio. These are individuals that are respected in society, and that is why we have them on our program. If you disagree, Give me a superior argument and let's have a conversation. But you will not speak to their character. We can extend the courtesy to you as well. Thank you very much for your understanding. Tᴜɪᴛᴛᴇʀ Michael says, hello, Mainland FM. In my own view, the country may likely not get a credible leader into power if we continue to put into consideration religion, ethnicity, and regional rotation that has been adopted within the various political parties. What can be done if truly President Tinubu will have to vacate party is the first, and presenting a Southeast candidate like Peter Obi, Babatunde Fashola is not from the Southeast, or Yemi Osibajo is the second step. The final step is to push for elections in Nigeria. Tᴜɪᴛᴛᴇʀ from Ijagbmo community. Good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening.
Yes.
I'm calling you from, for me, the person who actually boxed Nigerians into this situation where they are, Elijah Abubakar, because he refused to mellow down his greed and he wanted to. Well, and then again, if you look at the feeding of a candidate or not feeding of a candidate, I actually feel it's not about feeding of candidates. It's about what is the system that would need to sit down and first wait for VAR to check. If they round up to this, I feel for me, the next election, nobody should look at the election. Just keep the money for capital project because the president is still is an incumbent. He will use everything in his powers for win. How to get there, my sister?
Thank you very much. Let's take another phone call here. Hello. Oh, please make it back. I'm really sorry. I was the one who accidentally hit it. I'm very sorry. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Your name, sir?
My name is Prince Wise. Calling you from Morszáɪ.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You see, who Aga as a party? I go with them. Because for me, I only voted for WH for 4 years. I love him, I support him. When I praise, when necessary, that's how it's supposed to be as a country in Nigeria. But as of today, we have one dominant opposition now. That's the PDP, whether you like it or not. If Aga come up tomorrow, they have social in every state of this country, in every ward. When you have governor, you have governor, they have grassroots supporter. We talk on the radio, on television today, where national time come out data, I think they will move ahead. So for me, lady say, anybody can become my president to them. If I'm talking to you today, Asiwaju is my president. What happened yesterday in Abuja is saddening my heart by launching that mechanism that I'm yearning for. Many talk of reform. About president who want to start for that subsidy, it is better to lot of Nigeria. Our future is bright. If our leaders is not corruption, if me talking to you, not corruption, if all of us not corruption, Nigeria will get better. Good evening to you, Nigerian lady in the studio.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, you're live.
Okay, I'm Edward calling from Sango.
All right.
In terms of coalition, there is nothing so bad into that exercise. Very strong. Number one question is supposed to know from both ᴏᴜᴜ whether their mission is to rebuild the country. That is number one thing. And insecurity that is disturbing this country. That is the major thing. How are they able to take charge in these two aspects? Rebuilding the nation. Then supposed to also understand that uniting the country, let it be certain. Because I know that the way people are talking now, the whole masses are talking now, they look it in such a way that 2-3 years is enough to know any credible person that can go for second term. And I repeat, all those people that believe they like Tinubu more than anybody, they're supposed to know that they have fled in insecurity.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your submission. We appreciate you. Let's see if we can take this one before we go back to taking contributions.
Even in the coalition, we discussed that. But I have not made any firm decision. For me, priority number one, okay, is to get a person that will improve the quality of governance in Nigeria. If the quality of governance in Nigeria is improved, I will thrive. I will do well. Okay. I have an address, I have a profession, and it's well run, where the resources are applied, where people have a great opportunity to realize their potential. So for me, that's number one. Okay? That person also look as if it is settled. It is not. They are giving the impression through defections and so on as if, this is set. It is not. We know. Okay? It is not. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, I have looked at the numbers, I've looked at the trends of elections. President Tinubu has no pathway to win. He cannot.
I'll take one more phone call and round off with messages. Our last call, please. You have a minute. Hello, good evening. Tell me your name.
Good evening.
To the point. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, go ahead. We have just a minute.
So, in fact, Nigeria never understand that Ero-5 is. Ero-5 is just a pretender. It's somebody that cannot be able to manage the complexity of one state.
Sir, do you want to talk about Ero-5 or the coalition? Because you're our last call for the national issue. What would the coalition do for us in 2027? I'll read two messages so that we can usher in the news at 5:30. We have here, I think Ero-5 is spot on. He might have his shortcoming, but his claims have bearing on a government that is focused less and without any clear-cut and purposeful agenda for the great nation. If by 2027 APC are thrown out of power through votes, then so be it. All right, thank you very much, Papi from Berger. We have good afternoon, Sage. Please ask Mazi if he can rescue in the country. Tunde from Magboro. All right, we have here good day. Please see the above video confession. Okay, thank you. They don't demand for proper electoral reform. Merging the entire political party will not change the outcome of the election. OM from Lagos. Well, Nasir El-Rufai seems to be very certain that if these Sage, good afternoon, and I really appreciate your conversation with your guest. Taking over political field and admin president did not just wake up one day, but he did it with calculated effort. It took Tinubu 15 plus years and also Buhari extensive collaboration to get the final ticket. Let the coalition remove ego and self-employed and selfish types. Nobody has a monopoly of political success. Thank you very much, Coyote. I'm so sorry I cannot read the other messages. Please forgive me. I did the best I could. But the conversation will continue tomorrow. I'll be here as well on the Situation Room, 4 p.m. to 5:30, or the dynamics that they might need to consider if that coalition would succeed. This has been my time. It's been fun talking to you. Thank you so much. I am Sage Babalola. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.